Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marnise Nicole. I'm an acrylic painter. Sometimes I dabble in digital art, and today is an interesting artist diary because this painting behind me has had an interesting history and an interesting story and development, and it is now significantly changed. I've actually swapped out canvases completely, and I wanted to talk about it today. So starting off, here it is. This painting has developed so much since its original thoughts way back in the beginning of the year of 2021. I actually used TikTok to garner some kind of support, and TikTok has been an amazing art network for me because it's helped build inspiration, it's helped build community, and it's helped me really engage with some of my concept ideas. So at the beginning of the year, I really wanted to paint diamonds, jewels. I wanted to figure out how to paint gemstones because it's something I've never painted before. It's something that I absolutely love, and it was just an interesting form to me. I've seen a lot of abstract paintings with dealing in stones, and I was just like, that's so cool. I wish I could paint stones. And I was like, well, why not paint it? And so I kind of just brought it to the community. I want to paint stones. What can I paint? What can I do? And so this was my first TikTok about it.
Really quickly, I would need some kind of art concept from you guys. Like, I really need to incorporate some kind of art concept with diamonds or jewels, because for some reason I want to sketch, paint, and create art surrounding diamonds. Because what? Diamonds are a girl's best friend. I just want, like, gemstones are on my mind. I don't know what to incorporate them with though. So if you have an idea or a concept, leave it in the comments. I want to paint tonight, and this is what I want to work on. And I've never tried to paint stones of any kind, jewelry of any kind, other than kind of an impression of them, because I'm very impressionistic. So this will be a real challenge for me because stones are multi-surface. They have depth. It is hard to capture the shine and the brilliance of them. So this will be fun.
And so from that, I got a lot of concepts, some ideas, discussed it in the comments, and had a real big ball. So if you're not following me on TikTok, you should definitely check me out over there because we're having discussions there. And that's my favorite part about being in the art community. But anyway, we got around to this kind of idea, and then we developed a sketch, and then we started painting.
Alright, so my paint water is muddy. My palette looks like this. Here's basically everything I use, and here is the first layer done. I kind of regret that I didn't do a second layer of gesso. I just really wanted to start, and now this is going to take so many layers. But we have the girl surrounded by a lot of alcohol, donuts, holding up a diamond to her little figurine statue, who I'm debating turning completely into stone. But I don't know. Right now I like it how it is, so we'll see. But also, she might really be cool in stone.
And let me tell you guys, I was in love with it. I was so happy to put it on canvas. And then the fatal flaw. I did a whole layer of gesso on this canvas because it's big. It is a 24 by 36, if I'm not much mistaken, and that's a big canvas. And I use gesso on it because it's a cheaper canvas. And the thing with cheap canvases, if you don't know, they're inexpensive, but it's because they don't have as many layers of gesso, especially when they're using a certain type of canvas roll. You need more gesso because your paint will seep into the fibers of the canvas. And so when you buy a more expensive canvas, you are essentially buying one that has a better fiber, but also a lot more gesso. So even if you're coming home with a brand new canvas, you need to gesso it in order to make sure that it's properly prepared for you and it doesn't, like, you know, absorb all of your paint. And so I spent a whole hour or two painting just my base layers. and I came back to it, and it was completely absorbed into the canvas. There was so much patching. There was so much like seeping into the canvas. I was so frustrated with it, guys. I just really was.
Hey guys, I am volunteering at a golf tournament today, so I'm about to leave out the door. But I thought before I left, I would just show off a little bit what happens when you don't gesso your canvas enough. Because I've used so much paint last night. Like I used tons and tons and tons. All of this paint. So much paint. And still my canvas, it looks fine as a first layer back here, but when you get up to it, patches. This is gonna take at least 2 layers to cover up. Just because I couldn't be patient and wait and just gesso more. And now I feel like I wasted so much paint. Look at right here. Look at this. So much paint I used, and it looks like nothing. The canvas ate my paint. It ate it.
And then I did a second layer, and it did the same thing. And I did a third layer. And it was at that point where the whole idea, I just hate it now. I don't want to work on this if it's just going to keep intentionally eating my canvas. Like, I had a whole attitude with the project now. And so literally I took it off my canvas and I let it sit for weeks. I let it sit for weeks and weeks and just forgot about it. I moved on to my black opera painting that I'm still working on. It's still in progress, but it's okay. The longer I get into my art journey, the longer it takes me to finish paintings, but that's not a bad thing. I'm finding that painting and working on projects and really loving the process, it means I spend longer on a painting, but it means when it's done, it feels complete, it feels like a full story, and it just feels nice. And so, even though I had forgotten about this piece, I still really wanted to work on the gemstones. I couldn't bear to work on this particular piece, but I still love the concept. And so randomly, when I needed a break from my black opera painting, I just thought, you know what? The gemstones was a thing, but I really hate this canvas, and I still love the idea. I still love it. Like, I still wanted to work on a concept, but I just didn't want to work on this canvas anymore, and that's fair. Like, that's fair to give up on a project because it's not working. And I was kind of beating myself up. I'm like, it's almost the end of the year. I've literally been working on this for months, and it's been sitting in a corner for months, and I want it to be done. Like, when it gets to the end of the year for me, my whole year in art has always continuously been a clear picture of my art style. Every year that I've painted, there's been a different style. There's been a different development of skills. There's been a different concept or storyline or like theme that I focus on. And it really is like a way to kind of track your progress. And I'm like, if these paintings are unfinished, but I don't want them to be unfinished, I really enjoy their concepts, I need to finish this painting. And so I just decided, you know what? I like this idea. And I want to start over. And so I'm going to. And that was a hard decision to make for me because I didn't want to give up. But it was the best thing that I could have done because now I have this painting that I love. It's kind of like this fairy story. You can see her surrounded by fireflies and glowing lights and crystals that I still need to get better at painting. I'm going to work on them more. This painting is not finished. But this painting in comparison to this painting is so much more developed. It has such a better feel and it makes me want to paint on it. Like, I spent 45 minutes on this yesterday just painting this character right here because I wanted her to have transparent wings. I really wanted her to have a crown on her head and to really glow, and that takes building up, that takes layers, and technically I've never painted wings before, so this has all been an experiment of trying something. Like, I've never painted stones before. They kind of just look like transparent rocks at this point, but there's building, there's growth happening there. And I don't think I would have ever got into this full concept and story if I hadn't started over. So there's a lesson learned.
And here is the sketch. At least the base first sketch. I'm sure I'm going to change a lot of things. Like the hand, I just put like 4 different ways. This neckline where the head is, I'm probably going to change a little bit. But this is the overall idea. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
So this first concept is basically the girl handing over diamonds to this figure here. And it's the bigger woman, you know, the black woman holding up another black character. That was like the theme. Women supporting women, black women supporting women, giving them their jewels, giving them their diamonds. That's the base concept, right? However, the more I worked on this, I was just like, this doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the canvas size because the focus is now long. And it's like, it's only focused in this real area. So we have all this dead space at the bottom with her legs and stuff. And I just was like, I could better see this canvas as so many other things that have a longer perspective. And I felt like I was forcing myself to fill the dead space. And another thing is, this just kind of felt like juvenile a little bit. Like, yes, we have the two characters interacting with each other, but it's not even in my normal way of like playing with whimsicalness and playing with color and playing with like expressions or anything like that. It's very like juvenile for me. I do want to say that it's juvenile for me. That may be a concept that sounds amazing to you, but to me it just felt like simple. And I've been working really hard on expanding past a simplistic painting style and a simplistic concept. I actually just got an art book. This art book, in fact, which is called Disrupted Realism, and it's curated by John C. And it has all of these works of paintings that really deal with a disrupted form and disrupted reality, different kind of concepts like this. And this is the art where I'm not necessarily going to completely remove myself from my painting style, but I do want to explore expanding my concepts, what I think of as realism, and how I'm painting my scenes. And I've explored that a little bit when I've been working on my black opera painting. And just for shits and giggles, let me show you what it looks like currently. Currently, my black opera painting looks like this, which is the first time I've ever played around with a solid concept. I literally mashed together 8 different individual concept sketches for 8 individual paintings and turned them all into one concept. That to me is disruptive realism. That to me is expanding my concepts. And so, thinking about what I've done with this piece and then looking at this, it just feels like last year. It feels like 2020 to me, which is not in any way good, because while I was painting in 2020, the year does not bring fond memories for me, to say the least. And so, thinking about this and what it represented and the paintings that I'm actually doing and what I want to do with my art and what I want to explore as far as concepts, which is disruptive realism, thinking about all of that made me really want to just scrap this painting.
Okay, so here's the update of paint everywhere. I somehow got paint on my lip. That's not good. But we have progress. Here is the painting so far. I really think this just shows you really need to trust your gut sometimes when it comes to your art. I knew that the other piece wasn't working for me. And actually putting them side by side together, I get what I was trying to do. It just wasn't effective for me. And I think I can paint something much better over this. But yeah, side by side, I really love this concept more. This has like more diamond-y vibes. I love the cave. And I've never painted a cave, so this has been interesting. But yeah, I like this girl's positioning better. And I still have to add like this girl here. but I forgot to cook dinner, so I'm gonna go do that now, and we'll get back to you.
So now this is gonna turn into something different. It's gonna turn into, I'm not gonna just waste this canvas and leave it like this. No, I'm gonna gesso over it, and hopefully that protective layer of 4 layers of acrylic paint and a layer of gesso plus more gesso, maybe that will make this canvas not like completely just worthless and bleed and all of that. Maybe, here's hoping. But also now I'm having fun exploring this concept, because even though it's not as complex as the black opera painting that I'm working on, and even though it is not as disruptive as my takeaways from what I've read from this book so far, it is an explored concept, and it feels way more expansive than this first one. Just honestly, not only is the perspective different for me, because I've never painted something like this where it feels deep in a cave. Like, I've never painted this kind of depth of like a surrounding area before. I haven't even tried, so I haven't played with that. I've never painted crystals, or even how she's sitting in the water. I've never even painted a sitting position like this. Like, this is all very new for me. And so there's that. The fact that I have the cave kind of glowing in the background, the concept with the fireflies, like, I feel like this tells a more specific and thought-provoking kind of story. And I may be wrong. It may still be kind of juvenile. I know I'm my own worst critic, so you guys might think of something completely different when you see this, but I just love this. It's still a woman supporting a woman, but in this case, she's supporting a fairy queen, and ain't that something, you know? And I really like the positioning, because I have her in a bowed sense. Like, she's giving this diamond over to the queen, and she's like being respectful. Like, she's passing on the torch. She's giving the glow. And I like how the characters are interacting with each other. I love painting the caves. I really hope that I can do better with the diamonds and the jewel stones and the crystals. But I really like the whole scene. And this is an expansive painting for me because of all of those little details. And again, the first painting could have been fine. It could have been very standard painting and romantic, and it could have been finished and nice. But I don't really want to paint nice paintings anymore. I did back in the day, 2019, 2020, I painted nice things. But I want to do more with that. I want to show more in my work. Yeah, I want to show more in my work, that I can do more than paint a portrait. That I can expand my style to be like relevant and conversational. And I'm always striving to paint black art that I've never seen. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many times I will go on a gallery and I won't see the face that is familiar to me. I can't see myself within that art. And so this is something that I hope people can see themselves in, you know? So anyway, I'm in a great mood because I get to work on this piece and I'm really happy with it. And I wasn't happy with the other piece, even though most of it was my fault. If I had just gessoed the piece, we might not even have gotten here. But that in itself, I guess it's just a little bonus that I didn't do those things, and so we ended up here because I love being here. So anyway, yes, this is available on Amazon if you're interested. Disruptive Realism. I've only gone through the first couple like sections here. I'm about a third of the way into it, but I'm really loving the artists that are featured in here. I'm loving the work, and it has been inspiring for me, and that's all you want from your art books. I have a lot of art book collections, so taking the time to really go through the whole book is really nice, because normally I just flip through them, but I'm actually studying and reading and learning from this. So there's that. And just for giggles, I'll go ahead and attach my full art book collection video. It's a little older, but it should show you a lot of other books that help bring inspiration. So my name is Marnise Nicole. This is a story of how my canvas changed, like literally my canvas changed. And I guess I'm out. Bye.